Almost ready.
Oh, I was gonna clap for you no matter what, Bill.
Application. Wow. Very good. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your patience. Welcome to the February 1st Troy City Council meeting. We are actually beginning with a special finance meeting, and I would ask that you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Keel. Are you here? You're here. Councilmember Brosnan.
Present.
Councilmember McLaren. Councilmember Barrow.
Present.
Councilmember Soriento. Here. Councilmember Casey.
Present.
And Council President Steele is present. We have all present. At this point in time, I would ask, I will go over the agenda briefly. For introductory purposes, we have a local law. We have a ordinance regarding the water fund, some transfers within that for temporary corrosion control treatment system. And we have a resolution scheduling a public hearing in connection with the local fund. So with that being our agenda, is there anyone who wishes to speak on any item on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move right into our work. We have local law number 1, a local law amending section 257-11, 257-13, 257-22, and 257-25 of the Code of the City of Troy. Council President Steele and Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration. This is for introductory purposes only. It relates to real property tax exemptions for seniors, and it puts us in alignment with the state and county income levels. Again, it's for introductory purposes only. We'll be having a public hearing, and then we will be acting upon it later this month. Ordinance 4, ordinance appropriating funding from the assigned unappropriated fund balance of the water fund for the purpose of an emergency temporary corrosion control treatment system at the water filtration plant, and amending the water fund to appropriate such funding. Council President Steele at the request of the administration. Do I have a motion?
Council President, we did not vote for the local law number 1.
That's just for introductory purposes only. We don't need to vote.
Okay. Vote together to the meeting.
Well, we can have a vote, but we don't need a vote. I will entertain a motion to introduce.
I'll motion.
Council members Soriento, Council Member.
Corporation Council.
Yes. Corporation Council. Are we required to vote on the introduction?
No. I think you're only required to.
Your mic isn't on?
Bottom
No, it's just being announced that it's being introduced for future legislative purposes. What you're required to do is to schedule the public hearings where it will be discussed before you vote.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rick. Okay, as I was reading the ordinance number 4, I had finished reading it. Do I have a motion for ordinance number 4? So moved. Councilmember McLaren, second.
Second.
Councilmember Vera. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of ordinance 4?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 4 is carried unanimously. Resolution 31, resolution of the Troy City Council authorizing and scheduling a public hearing in connection with proposed local law number 1 of 2024, amending Troy City Code, Chapter 257, Council President Steele at the request of the administration. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Soriento, second.
Second.
Councilmember Casey. Discussion on the scheduling of the hearing. It will be at 5:15 on February 22nd. Any other further discussion on the resolution? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is carried. Any other items of discussion or business? During that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion, Councilmember Soriento,
Second.
second Councilmember Frost. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Troy City Council. Today is February 1st. Pastor Vic, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Thank you for the opportunity. And we say the pledge of allegiance all together. I pledge allegiance.
At this time, it's our honor and privilege to have some good news. And for those on the council who are new to this part of our program, we have the opportunity to recognize folks in the community who have done something exceptional, who have shown acts of heroism or excelled in certain areas. Tonight, we are very privileged to honor members of our Troy Fire Department. And so I would ask the members of the council to go forward, and we'd invite our honorees to come forward. Just want to, as council president, thank you. The bottom of my heart, you know, every day you go above and beyond. But this particular day was exceptional. And I'm going to turn the mic over to Tom, one of your own, who will take it from here.
Thank you. You know, I want to say what an honor it is to be up here to honor these guys, to be in a position to do that. As you may know, I was a fire captain, as was my uncle and my father and my son. I wear this Troy Fire lapel every meeting because I'm so blessed that I was given the opportunity to serve my city as a fireman. There is no greater honor, in my opinion, to serve your community as a firefighter, to make such a difference. And that's what we're recognizing tonight. You know, you see TV and movies, they have these big fire rescue saves. You do have that, but for the most part, you save a lot of lives on the EMS and the medical end. And that's what we're talking about tonight. You know, almost every day in the fire department, you're making a difference. We're from the living room to the hospital. And a lot of times the training, the dedication, they're highly trained, all those paramedics. We make a huge difference on the way to the hospital. We keep people alive. And we have trauma, we have car accidents, and then you have horrible incidents like this, where again, their training, their dedication, their experience, because of the high call volume they have. They know what needs to be done. And in this case, as happens, you know, numerous times with firemen, there's someone walking around today because of your actions. And there's no greater gift, I guess, to know that for the rest of your life, that you made that kind of difference. So we got some acknowledgments of heroism for you. Let me read it. On the third day of January 2024, Troy City Council presented this acknowledgement of heroism in recognition of, I just wanted to read it. County Chief Eric Koblenzer, Captain Matt Dewan, Captain Pat Shaw, Lieutenant Jason Lucy, Lieutenant Nick Higgins, Firefighter Ray Littlejohn, Firefighter Rich Bellamy, Firefighter Chris Agars, and Firefighter Dave Judge. Whereas on the afternoon of November 3rd, 2022, 8 members of the Detroit Fire Department did respond rapidly, whereas a Hudson Valley Community College student was attacked on campus, whereas the victim suffered life-threatening injuries, and whereas the first responders did act heroically and professionally, whereas the work of the responding firefighters helped save the lives of this victim. So we'd like to give this to you today, and on behalf of the citizens of Troy, thank you very much for your service, and thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. If you'd like to do a photograph. Okay, I'm sure. I know. You know. Love to.
Jake?
Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Keel?
Here.
Councilmember Rosman?
Present.
Councilmember San Claren?
Present.
Councilmember Rivera?
Present.
Councilmember Sorrento? Here. Councilmember Casey?
Here.
Council President Steele?
Present.
All are present.
Thank you. At this time, we have one local law for introductory purposes only. We have 2 ordinances and several resolutions. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak on any item on the agenda?
Good evening once again.
Please state your name and whether you live in Troy.
Good evening once again, Reverend Victor Patterson, proud pastor of Fifth Avenue, AME Zion Church, in this Baldwin, area. On your agenda tonight, it has the resolutions for, proclaiming the month of February.
You gotta speak into the microphone. I don't think
For the resolution today, it has on here proclaiming, for February, for Black History Month. I just want to say, on behalf of my community, we appreciate, this initiative. We appreciate the recognition of the city, getting behind us doing this. But I also would like to just say, we're not only celebrating in this month, but we celebrate it every day. Every day that y'all wake up, there's something in your house that was invented by a Black person. And so, although we appreciate this month as Black History Month, let us know that we're a part of this community. and we want our voices to be heard as well. So thank you for the opportunity.
And I like your sweater. Anyone else wish to speak on any item on the agenda? Okay, thank you very much. We'll move into the agenda, clerk.
Ordinance 2, ordinance transferring funds within the 2024 general fund and water fund budget. Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Do we have a motion?
Brony.
Second,
Second.
discussion on ordinance 2.
Council President,
Councilmember Farrow.
the administration have any amendments to this they wanted to discuss?
Okay,
I had
Good evening, everyone.
good evening.
Council. So just one thing that the Schedule A that was provided, although it doesn't change anything that you're voting on, it did reflect the proposed amount in the budget down at permanent salaries for $420,516, where the council actually adopted $390,000 in 58,000. So it's, again, it's not changing anything you're voting on. It's just if you did want to correct to make it accurate.
Councilmember Brosnan, do you have an amendment?
Yeah.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
From the $390,058 up to the appropriate $420,516.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Councilmember Soriento, any discussion on the amendment?
Well, I just wanted to double check that the amount that's being left in that account is sufficient to cover expenses. And then I was curious about the premium pay line item as well. That was budget. I see similar line items in police and fire, but I just didn't see that line item.
I'm sorry, will you repeat what was your question?
So when I look at the budget and I look at 8310,
Mhm.
there is no line item on the whole. This is creating a new line item. I was curious what the purpose of those lines.
Are you saying creating a line item that's reflecting premium pay? Is that?
Yeah, I guess my question is, what is premium pay?
So premium pay it's actually getting paid out of a stipend. Yeah, so it's because it's a stipend. So the premium pay for the 60,000, that's in regard to the water fund. That is that 50,000 for the Commissioner of Public Utilities. And there's actually two $5,000 payments that are currently going to two other supervisors.
So the 60,000 is the superintendent's
Correct. The reason that we did it that way is so you really wouldn't be able to generate two permanent salaries, you know what I mean? So we're pulling and paying it as a stipend, but from the budget line that is for that permanent salary of the superintendent.
So can you clarify for us?
So basically, Russ Reeves is the city engineer. He's also the superintendent of public utilities. He's getting his city and he's doing two jobs. So the city engineer, 125, he's not getting the full salary of the superintendent of public utilities. He's getting 50,000 of that 90 some odd $1,000. So you're saving, 50K with Social Security retirement. Saying that the $5,000 to the two supervisors were provided last year, 2023, after Chris Whelan, the superintendent, resigned. So they have picked up duties, they are continuing the $5,000 extra to their salary. They received it when Chris left, they're going to continue that 5,000 each.
So to clarify,
Mhm.
Russ is getting 175,000.
Two jobs, 175, 125 as engineer, 50 as superintendent of public utility. But the way the line has to show, council president, is the way Gabrielle has, lined this out as treasurer to, break it off, because obviously you don't want to commingle the water fund, the general fund. So he'll get $50,000 out of a 90-some-odd $1,000 public utilities line item. So we're saving close to 50, 60K with social security, retirement, et cetera. Okay, he's doing two jobs.
Pretty clear on things.
It's just the way it had to be broken down, because he can't be in two positions.
Are there any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you.
The way to get that done.
Okay, so we have, an amendment, we've discussed it. All in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The amendment passes. Continued discussion on this resolution. Councilmember Hector.
I propose amending this resolution to strike the transfers being made to the 1210 account, and instead direct that funding to 1315, which is the account for the comptroller's office. Had a problem hiring a comptroller. We had similar problems hiring a city engineer, and I think that would be a better use of those funds.
Okay, we have an amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember McLaren. Discussion on the amendment.
Council President,
Councilmember Brosnan.
I believe that the comptroller position is either filled or going to be filled soon. I don't think that would be necessary change in funding for the job.
Do you have information that no one else has?
No. I've been keeping tabs.
Council President, if I may.
Okay,
Just to give a little background on that with the comptroller, so, we have secured a comptroller that's going through the process of giving this new employer.
okay. Thank you for the information. Would have appreciated it before now, perhaps, but thank you. I see. Does that affect the emergency then? This is how you're getting your steps in.
I am, you wanna, no, that doesn't change the emergency order, because the whole point, like was explained with ProNexus, is that they're gonna be focusing on closing out the 2023 books. So we did that to ensure that we could have a smooth closeout of that, and then while the new comptroller was getting on board, so.
Okay, and we all know that we would have called a special meeting and we wouldn't have needed the emergency, but that's for another
Well,
day and another time.
The only
Thank
reason,
you. Thank you.
the reason that the emergency was called is because, one, we did have to act in that quick manner, and we had to get someone in place
And-
right away,
and we knew
compared
about
to
it
going through a
for over
meeting
a
and an
month.
RFP, so. Well, it did, as you know, that the comptroller did stop in their position a couple days before we got on board, so.
But gave notice.
Yes,
of-
and just to make a point too, this same company, ProNexus, that we use, they actually will go and hunt for comptrollers. Just for reference, they say to please allow them for 6 months to find someone, so 3 weeks is probably pretty.
President, if I may, trying to find a comptroller to meet those qualifications is not easy. I have been through it with my full-time job, and it has taken several months. And I have even posted them on Indeed. I put them, I mean, I have tried so hard recruiting for a comptroller, and you have to have governmental accounting experience. You have to have at least a master's, I believe, or a bachelor's. But it's not an easy position to fill. It's just like trying to find a planning commissioner. That's not an easy job to fill either. It's something that you can try so hard, but these days are tough. They are not easy to fill positions these days. Even trying to find a CDL driver for a position, it's not easy. And I think this emergency was needed. That is a critical position. And, I mean, I don't think that a month is enough to even find someone that is qualified, that has that governmental accounting experience. It's really hard. So I just want to throw that out there.
And I would just say that that speaks to Councilman Barrett's motion, that we should really consider the salary level, because it's not just for this position, it's for others. That our salary level is notoriously low.
But if
And
they
we found that
are,
out.
if they do have someone in mind that, you know, within the next couple of
Well,
weeks.
that's what we're hearing.
Council President,
Mhm.
to your previous statement of, he gave 3 weeks notice, I'm speaking of Andy, of course. He was a third-party contractor through the city, because he had previously resigned,
No,
so. We need, it's on the minutes, it was public information. So the previous administration could have filled this comptroller position at any time, said retained Andy on an hourly basis.
okay, thank you.
No problem.
Council President. I will withdraw my amendment on the, if the administration has found a conflict. To make it.
Okay, then we have an amended resolution or amended ordinance 2. On the amendment. Ordinance
What are you asking me?
to take a vote.
I mean,
Do you want to do a slow roll? We'll do
He
a
just
slow roll.
withdrew.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bratton? No, on the amended resolution, you guys already all agreed, yeah, on the amendment.
We're talking about the withdrawn amendment?
You proposed an amendment. We amended the rest of the ordinance, and now we're voting on the amended ordinance. He withdrew his amendment. Right.
Better safe than sorry.
We're now voting on the ordinance as amended. We voted on the amendment,
The original amendment.
and now we're voting on the ordinance as amended. Okay, all right, everybody is on board. Good, okay.
Councilmember Keel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bratton,
Yes,
Councilmember St. McLaren.
Yes.
Councilmember Vera,
No.
Councilmember Sorrento.
Yes.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Council President Steele,
No,
5 ayes, 2 noes, ordinance number 2 passes.
ordinance 4.
Ordinance 4, ordinance appropriating funding from the assigned unappropriated fund balance of the water fund for the purpose of an emergency temporary corrosion control treatment system at the water filtration plant and amending the water fund to appropriate such funding. Council President Steele, the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
motion.
Councilmember Brosnan. Second, Councilmember Vera. Discussion on the ordinance. You have a question, Councilmember? Casey? Okay, well, there's no discussion, then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes. Ordinance 4 passes.
Resolution 21.
Resolution 21, resolution appointing commissioners of beach for the city of Troy, Council President Steele, their request to the administration.
There a motion? Motion. Councilmember McLaren, second.
Second.
Councilmember Rivera. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 21 passes.
Resolution 22.
Resolution 22, resolution commending Dr. Tesla Bounty, firefighter Richard Bellamy, and Mr. Joseph L. Geiser, Councilmember Soriento, Council President Steele, Councilmember Casey, Councilmember Brosnan, Councilmember Vera, Councilmember Keel, Councilmember Spain McLaren, at the request of the administration.
We have a motion.
Motion.
We'll give it to Councilmember Keel and a second by Councilmember Brosnan. A discussion on the resolution will be.
Yeah, I believe, later this month, they'll be joining us. Yeah, the family couldn't be here tonight, so everybody will be here, I guess, somewhat later in the month. maybe next week.
Second, I hope. That's when we're together now. Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 22 passes.
Resolution 25.
Resolution 25, resolution determining that proposed action is a type 2 action for purposes of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
There a motion?
Motion.
Second? Second. Councilmember Brosnan, seconded by Councilmember McLaren. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? I would note that all of these have been thoroughly vetted during our finance meeting, 2 weeks ago.
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 25 passes.
Resolution 26.
Resolution 26, resolution determining that proposed action is a type 2 action for purposes of the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act. Councilmember Casey at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion? Councilmember Rivera, second.
Second.
Councilmember Soriento. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 26 passes.
Resolution 27.
Resolution 27, bond resolution of the city of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of 950,000 serial dollar bonds to finance the purchase of a motor vehicle used for fighting fires. Councilmember Casey, Council President Steele at the request of the administration.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Soriento and a second by Councilmember Brosnan. Discussion on the bond resolution?
Council President, I just want to say, and I mentioned at finance meeting, it's just nice that the city is proactive. There's a big lead time getting these rigs and, rigs that are, faulty and, not in good service. It certainly doesn't work out on the fire scene. You need a fire truck that functions 100% of the time, or else, people could lose their life. So it's really nice to see that we're being proactive with, the purchasing of, new equipment.
Any other comments, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 27 passes.
Resolution 28.
Resolution 28, bond resolution of the city of Troy, New York, authorizing the issuance of 375,000 serial dollars bonds to finance the purchase of an ambulance. Councilmember Casey, Council President Steele at the request of the administration.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Brosnan,
Second.
second Councilmember Rivera. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 28 passes.
Resolution 29.
Resolution 29, resolution proclaiming the month of February 2024 as Black History Month in the city of Troy, New York. Councilmember Brosnan at the request of the administration.
I would like to be included in, ethical sponsor. Clerk, please make that note. Any others wish to join in sponsorship? I would. I guess we'll put everyone on.
Yeah, I think we asked for that.
So we had,
Yeah, sure. So, okay, on.
the more the merrier. Um,
Not yet.
motion. Councilmember McLaren, second by Councilmember Keel. Discussion,
This time, Mr. President. Ask Kevin Pryor to come up and say a few words.
okay.
Good evening, Council President Steele and this city council members. My name is Kevin Pryor. I'm the Diversity Inclusion Outreach Director for the new mayor, Carmela Mantello. Couple things about Black History Month, couple events. So the city of Troy is hosting a Youth Black History Month breakfast on February 24th at the Hilton Hotel. In collaboration with all community organizations such as CEO, Community House, Troy Boys and Girls Club, Troy Look, just to name a few, Shades of Cocoa, Oakland Ave, Community Center. Yes.
You have a time on that, Kevin?
The time for the breakfast is from 9 to 11. And the mayor has made it possible for 100 youth to go to this breakfast on that day. Thank you, Mayor. That happened in one day. And it was an idea, and it came to fruition in one day. So, great job. Other things are going on. The Black History Month Planning Committee, they have an art gallery event, Brush Strokes and Brilliance, a Black History Arts Odyssey Day, Thursday, February 8th, 2024, time 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Location, Pitt, Troy, Prep Middle School and High School Gym. That's on Thursday, February 8th. Then African Drumming and Stepping, date Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, time 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Location, Albany Community Charter Middle School Gym. And Infinite Shades of Greatness, Black History Unveiled. Date Wednesday, February 28th, 2024, time 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Location, Pitt Tech Valley Middle School Gym. So I have a little thing here for Black History Month, what it means. So let me share. So Black History Month. It's one of them, it's the 1 month where awareness seems to be at its highest for diversity, equity, and inclusion. What you know, I'm Diversity Inclusion Outreach Director. Great time for it. This is the time, Black History Month, where we can have a voice. And hopefully we are saying what we need to say loud enough so we can continue to have a voice beyond February. Just like Pastor Patterson said, we do Black History Month all year round. And we're fortunate to be able to celebrate it 29 days this year because it's leap year. And we just want to be heard. We just want to be heard. And if we all come together and treat everybody the same, the things that we need to get done will get. So I thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? I would ask, Councilmember Brosnan as the prime sponsor to read the resolution, please.
Thank you. Whereas Black History Month was founded by Dr. Carter G. Woodson and was first celebrated on February 1st, 1926. And whereas since 1976, Black History Month has become a nationally recognized month-long celebration held each year during the month of February to acknowledge and contribute to African Americans and their achievements. And whereas this month-long celebration commemorates the extraordinary efforts, accomplishments, and victories of African Americans in a long endeavor to develop and promote equal opportunity and social equality throughout the United States. And whereas Black History Month is a time to remember and celebrate the strength, and spirit of the people of color in our nation's history who triumphed over adversity and rose above their social circumstances to build dignified lives for themselves. And in doing so, left an honorable cultural legacy for those who followed in their paths. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Troy City Council commends the African American community and does hereby proclaim the month of February 2024 as Black History Month in the city of Troy, New York. And be it further resolved that this month and throughout the year, we commit ourselves to raising our awareness and appreciation of the histories and cultures of our nation's people of color. And may their American spirit continue to enrich our daily lives.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 29 passes.
Resolution 39.
Resolution 31, resolution of Troy City Council authorizing and scheduling a public hearing in connection with proposed local law number 1 of 2024, amending Troy City Code Chapter 257. Council President Steele, the request of the administrator.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Councilmember Rivera, second. Second. Councilmember McLaren. Discussion on the resolution? All in favor? Opposed?
7 ayes, 0 noes, resolution 31 passes.
I think that, Kevin, you do have something to add?
Sorry about that. Black Family Technology Awareness at RPI on Saturday at 9:45. And Team Hero at Detroit Boys and Girls Club, they're doing a movie every Friday. They have family night at the Boys and Girls Club. So they're doing, their first movie is gonna be at the Art Center. They're showing a black movie every Friday. That's, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
Could you email all of us, all the events that are gonna be taking place?
Okay, no problem. Everybody else, thank you.
That would be great. We appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I can't read my own writing here. At this time, anyone who wishes to speak to the council on any subject is welcome. We ask that you raise your hand and be recognized, and come forward, give your name and whether you live in Troy or not. Does anyone wish to speak? The gentleman here.
Hi, my name is John Halloran. Although I grew up in Troy, I'm not currently a resident, although I am a taxpayer. I wanted to come here and just first of all congratulate you all on your recent elections and thank you for the important work you're doing.
Excuse me, unfortunately, our mics are terrible.
Oh,
Can
sorry.
you speak right into them? Thank
Sure,
you, thank
sure.
you.
I wanted to more specifically thank you for getting to the proper resolution of the question of hiring Jason Schofield as a potential candidate for assistant city clerk. I think that if we look at the national and regional news coverage of the city, it's easy to see that just the suggestion of that issue drown out coverage of all the other important issues that face the city and the important work that you guys are doing for that. So I really appreciate that you got to a proper resolution of the issue that will allow the work to go forward. As I look at the news on the national level today, I see it would be easy to assume that every citizen of this country only wants their elected officials to take the most extreme positions on one side of an issue or another. But I thought it was reasonable to come and just let you know that there is a decent sized middle of this population who simply want for their elected officials to do their jobs in a reasonable, fair, responsible, and thoughtful manner. And to most of us, there is absolutely no universe in which allocating taxpayer dollars to pay a salary to an individual who has pled guilty and is awaiting sentencing on multiple felony counts of fraudulently voting in the names of our fellow citizens of Rensselaer County would do anything to advance the interests of this city or its taxpayers. So I just want to say once again, thank you for getting to the proper resolution on that issue. I think it'll make your jobs easier. I think it'll make the city much better off. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Familiar face.
Oh, and I have a time limit.
And we're very strict with them.
Let me get my clock. I wrote notes. My name's Emily Men. I'm on the street in beautiful District 4. I wrote you earlier this week regarding the bills for housing task force and a greater overview of our housing here in Troy. And I very much agree. Housing is one of the most important issues facing the municipality. It's the backbone of our tax base. And one of the key points that I'd like to make is that data from mainstream economists is very clear. Expanding housing supply in your municipality reduce costs to renters. It also increases our tax base, which allows us to provide more services. Our tax base is currently severely limited by a large percentage of property owned by nonprofits that either pay no or a low amount of property tax. Programs that seek to expand the supply of housing and move non-tax paying properties back onto the tax rolls is going to be a long-term durable solution that increases opportunities for everyone, whether you are an owner or a renter. I was recently participated in a study from University of California, Berkeley, from the Turner Center for Housing Improvement, which you will be getting in your email very soon, and anyone else that might be interested. And it was a study of the ownership of small multifamily rental properties, AKA most of Troy's housing stock. And one of the things that was a key point was that small multifamily properties, and those are defined as between 5 and 49 units, are an important source of unsubsidized affordable housing. I would love to see the full council support removing barriers to building new and revitalizing existing housing throughout our multifamily dominated neighborhoods, specifically districts 1, 2, 4, and 6. The majority of housing in the city of Troy. You got some, but we got them. These are the oldest, the most historic, the most diverse population, the most affordable neighborhoods in our city. However, they are also suffering from the most disinvestment over the last 100 years due to racist federal policies known as redlining. Basically, the Fed said, don't loan to these guys. Up the hill, we got the cash. So I encourage the council and the administration to establish a housing task force to look at our city comprehensively. But in the meantime, as you work out the parameters of what that would look like, there are several action items to take immediately. One is to promote accessory dwelling units. Accessory dwelling units are traditional Troy housing. That carriage house that had the carriage and the horse also had an apartment upstairs. Those are throughout our whole city. Sometimes they're called mother-in-law cottages, tiny homes. They come up in a lot, but they're basically small standalone units. You can have a garage below and a house above. And what they do is they provide smaller scale, lower cost housing integrated in neighborhoods that allow people who are starting off in a community, first house, or downsizing to stay in their neighborhoods. It offers diversity of price points for rents all within one parcel. So one of the things that I sent you was a pro-housing resolution that New York State has proposed, which is in your email. And it does not obligate the city to do any particular actions, but it says we already have the most progressive zoning in New York State.
the best zoning in New York State, the sexiest zoning in New York State. So that box is checked. But now this is a way to open up sweet cash from the state and the feds to help property owners improve their properties and offer more units for rent. So I know the clock is ticking. Two more action items. You know, while we are seeking a director of code enforcement, a position that has been vacant for way too many years. Council can give that department the work that they do more teeth by increasing fines, increasing the fine rates. Harbor Point Garden was a good example of a project that displaced so many different people, hundreds of people, took up a tremendous amount of manpower, and ultimately the property owner with many violations paid $7,000. We need to make sure that our city attorney is aggressive in pursuing maximum fines, especially for when you have someone who is a repeater, and is not working to resolve the issue. And finally, creating that landlord, tenant, and co-op coalition. Because one of the pieces that's missing from Troy's housing market are condos and cooperatives. The ability to just simply own your apartment and own the building in collaboration with other people gives people that third option. You don't have to be a landlord, you don't have to be a renter, you can be somewhere in between. And the skill set that's required to manage the relationships, understand the legal, to be able to connect people with the resources that they need to be successful, that's something to not miss. Our most affordable neighborhoods, if you are a first-time home buyer in the city of Troy, if you are a renter in Detroit, are the Burgh, North Central, and South Shore. This is where many of my former tenants have purchased homes. And guess what? Most of those homes are multifamily. So if you are buying your first home, an affordable home in Troy, surprise, you're gonna become a landlord. So having some way that people can get training, that they can understand the resources that are available to them through the city is really important. And it's also a way to make Troy more appealing to residents, whether they're renters or owners. So that they can feel comfortable and they know where to go when there's a problem. They also know where to go when they've got a solution. So I think that this is a very exciting start of the dialogue. Housing is a complicated issue. There's market forces that are well without the scope of what this council can do. But I would say there's some very basic steps. I'm more than happy to talk your ear off indefinitely, as you all know. And so thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
I'm Harriet Warnock Graham. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
I live in Troy. I'm at 148 Second Street. And I want to make it, I have tenants. I'm a landlord. And one of the things that I'm really interested in is seeing my tenants become property owners in Troy. And I advocate for that with them. But I don't know how, what I can offer them in terms of, places to go where they can get funding. Most of them are limited in their income. And if we had a system for making that path smooth, that those people who are now my tenants could become my neighbors, which is something that I want. They're good people. They put food in my mouth. They put a roof over my head. And I win if they become my neighbors. And this kind of program would allow me to have the information in front of me, so I could say, okay, this is where you go to get matching funds. This is where you go to make sure you don't trip over code violations. This is where you go to get money to, to improve your property. I don't have that. But if the city had something, a system, to smooth my path and smooth their path, everybody benefits. And my tenants now, we know that home ownership benefits generations, not one generation, but more generations. So we really do need to get those people's hands on home ownership. We have one family I know in Sixth Avenue, one of my properties in Sixth Avenue, who did buy a house. I'm not even sure how they did it, but they got help from the city. They're still poor. They've got all their money invested in their house. They root for the neighborhood. They work for the neighborhood. The system works for all of us. And I'm not, I don't live out of town. Those people doing well benefits the quality of my property. So I'm cheering for it. Anything I can do to encourage you to do this, I'm for, I'll do it. My phone number, I'll give you my phone number. I have information here from the program that provides funds for people who want to put an apartment over the carriage house, or all those people out, who don't have multiple family houses, multiple units, who could benefit from building one in, like behind their house or whatever. That brings them into the cooperative spirit of the city. And God knows that will only do us good. So that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, I will be brief. My name is Lena Henriksen. I actually live in Rensselaer. I'm part of the Get the Lead Out of Troy coalition. We've been here many times. I just want to applaud, I guess, the city council for making sure that there is the funds for the temporary corrosion control. I think it's an important follow-up. Of course, we want all the lead service lines replaced. And I think it's great to see that the city has taken that to heart and it's being done. Of course, it can be done much faster, and we also, need the funding to do so. So I guess I'm just here saying that it's good to see things being done. I hope that they can continue being done without a lot of drama or coming to the city council meeting and having to yell and scream and all that we went through. At the same time, I know that the city needs a lot of funding, and I just want to make sure that we are being heard as a coalition, taking up the fact that we do need money, and somebody needs to invest in either a grant writer or whatever bonding we can come up with. But this is an issue that's going to take some time, but it also needs everybody's attention. To live in a place where lead is part of our drinking water is terrible, and we don't want Troy to be that city. So we are still a coalition. We are at the Troy Farmers Market every month with information and talking to people about how they can make sure the city is involved in finding out if there is lead in their water, be they homeowner or renters. And I think we have expanded our reach. Actually, I just heard that Troy is on top of all the cities in New York with an informed population. And I believe that's because we have been on the issue. We have educated people, and will continue to keep an eye on the fact that it's being done. So thank you.
Thank you.
Kirk Wisher, 30 Fairfield Road, Troy, New York. I'd like to start by thanking this council, the previous council, the mayor for getting these important pieces of equipment for the members of the fire department. We still have some equipment that are frontline pieces from 1999. We have some spares from the 80s, right? We're really need some reliable stuff for frontline pieces that go out the door every day. So we appreciate the previous council, this council, the mayor for getting those items, and you guys for approving them. We appreciate the fact that you guys took the time to honor the guys for their efforts on that call at Hudson Valley, to recognize the work that they do day in and day out. There's many more calls like that, maybe not as severe, but they're heroic to those people that call 911. So we appreciate that. Sunday, if you don't have anything to do at noontime, there's a hockey game at RPI between the Troy firefighters and the Saratoga firefighters. It's a benefit for one of our brothers that passed away in Schenectady, leaves behind 4 young kids under 10 years old. So if anybody has the time to stop by, they have raffles, prizes, should be a good time. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you. Eric, can I ask
Did
you
you
one?
get? What time did you say?
Noontime.
Noon time. I'm sorry, Bill.
Eric, the city, you mentioned a number of things that needed to be taken care of, older 1999, whatever. Things that are outdated that are really, what to say, on the edge of being useless. Is there a number that, you come up with that we would know how much it costs to replace all this equipment?
I
that's
think
needed?
this makes a big dent in it, because this will replace the final 1999 piece, that's a frontline piece.
Okay.
And maybe we can work into having some better spares, other departments do different things than we do. Some places lease, so they get new stuff every 5 years. We purchase, we generally keep our stuff about 15 to 20 years, depending on its condition. We're in the Northeast, there's salt, there's potholes, there's, we put a lot of wear and tear on equipment. We do 14,000 calls a year. That's quite a bit of running that we do. And, the stuff's not getting any cheaper day in and day out. We have a great mechanic that keeps the stuff on the road. I believe he's thinking about leaving in a year. We have an assistant mechanic's position that the previous council approved in the budget. We're hoping to find somebody. We have a person we're in discussion with. We don't know if we can get him because of the pay. He has many qualifications, so we're working on that. So hopefully those things together for the future, we can come up with a few more things, I'm sure, that we need to replace. We'll go from there. Anytime anybody wants to tour a firehouse and see some of the equipment, give me a call. I'll take you around, show you the stuff that's outdated and in the condition it's in.
Thank you, Eric.
Are they, the current mechanic, are they committed to leaving in a year, or if we get someone?
I think he's willing to stay a year or a little better if we can get somebody to, this person we've reached out to has fire truck credentials. He works on fire trucks and that kind of stuff. So we're trying to get him, and then the current mechanic could teach him through what we have, the particular brands, the pumps, right? Fire trucks are unique. They're not like any over-road truck. We have a lot of unique features. Our trucks do a lot of unique things that need regular special maintenance and repairs, so, and they're not cheap. So I think they do a good job. It'd be nice to get somebody with qualifications to continue on from where our mechanic is today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Anyone else wish to make a comment during public forum? Councilmember Vera?
Yeah, well, I just had a question for the administration about the vacancy list. A couple times, I didn't see a director of planning, Commissioner of Planning and Community Development. I was just curious if that position is still open or if that's been filled.
Okay, so that position is open. The only, I just don't know if it appears on the vacancy list because it's an appointed position.
We deferred the hiring date to mid-February
Oh,
Oh,
because of the transfers. It's on that transfer. schedule.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions? Any comments? Okay, then, normally, at this meeting, we would have heard the mayor's state of the city. I understand that's been postponed until February 21st. So probably we'll see each other then. And then we meet again on the 22nd, starting with a public hearing, then a presentation, then a finance committee meeting, and then probably a special meeting. So we have, lots of good stuff in our future here. So, I'll certainly entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, motion made by Councilmember Soriento and seconded by Councilmember McLaren. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?